There were actually quite a few that were actively blocking our growth.
There's only so much land. It's going to be a land grab for people now, isn't it?
Paying double or triple the amount of rent for
Yes.
location. You see bonkers things already in the market happening every single day.
But I think that's woken the rest of the industry up now.
Yeah.
They're saying, hang on, this started as a bit of a trend. This is serious business now. This is actually something we should be sitting up and taking note of. And then you jump ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Just at the pivotal point, all that hard work.
I think there's also a turbulent time coming up, but you can see a wave of consolidation happening in the market. And I personally think it's nowhere near to its end.
Welcome to Let's Be Honest About Logistics podcast. I'm Nicky Jones, the CEO of Vidu Group, and I'm joined here today by Rein Hofhuis. Rein has spent a number of years with InPost as Global Strategic Partnerships, responsible for those, and he's now most recently joined a company called Canopy as Chief Commercial Officer. So it's a perfect time for him to come onto the podcast, give us a bit of his insight and industry knowledge from 10 years plus within the industry, and also talk to us about the future and what Canopy has in store for him. So welcome to our podcast, Rein.
Thank you.
Thank you for flying over. You are very welcome. Thank you for coming over. Shall we start with telling the audience a little bit about your journey? Don't know how far back you want to go.
Yeah, well, so I was born in... no, kidding. I won't do that to you.
No.
No, so I, like everyone, I think I accidentally came across logistics.
You fell into it?
Fell into it. I don't know many people that started yammering on when they were 3 years old. They wanted to be in logistics when they grow old. So a couple of friends of mine, I was myself working for, started my career working for a trading company in India, living there as well. And that was interesting. Was a company that sourced goods for Walmart and other major giants in the West.
Okay.
And it was really interesting to at least start seeing the supply chain, where the supply chain begins, basically. And then a couple of friends of mine called me if I wanted to help build a logistics startup in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Called Retje Pakketje. Some will know it. It turned out to be bigger than we expected it to be when we started.
Okay.
But it was still very Dutch and on a smaller scale than I ended my career in logistics recently. But what we basically tried to build was a good challenger that did everything slightly different than the status quo. Try to make it as scalable as possible. It's obviously really difficult in a business so asset heavy as logistics to try and make something quite light and scalable and ready for proper scale.
Yes.
And do it in a profitable manner, which turned out to be one of the most difficult things we had. So we raised millions and millions of euros to get to critical mass. And we had a lot of fun doing it. So for 5 years, we grew it to eventually 2,000 employees.
Wow.
3,000
From a standing start?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were at times, we were the fastest growing company in the Netherlands. But with such a Dutch name, we're obviously not built for the largest future thinkable. But we had a really good time. And then we eventually were able to sell it off to a Swedish competitor, basically called Instabox.
Okay.
That name for some would ring a bell. They were at the time a purpose-built APM carrier, so locker carrier, with everything in house. They were quite aggressive at the time, raised several hundred million, and their main Swedish competitor, Buppy, had a head start in the Dutch market a couple of years before. And we were fighting against Buppy. So when Instabox acquired us, we sort of had the two Swedish competitors play in this one market called the Netherlands. We did that for, I believe, almost 2 years, and then we merged together with Buppy.
Right,
so
okay.
That became Instabi. Who is still active in the Nordics, I believe, and some parts of Benelux. And it was really interesting. They from a lot of perspectives, they had the same ambition as our little Dutch startup, Ritje Pakketje, because we wanted to have people on the payroll, fair wages, take everything in house, the full IP, but also all the assets, which was really heavy. We lost millions and millions a month just to fund that growth and to buy some market share. So when Instabox came along, we had to pivot our model from being a to-door model mainly into being a out-of-home model.
Right. Okay.
Which taught us more lessons than we than we're happy to admit. It was very almost a painful journey, because financially it's such a different ball game. Which, when I eventually ended up speaking to InPost for a bit more, was quite fun and entertaining to see how they looked at out of home so differently than any other in the market. Long story short, eventually the group management in Sweden decided to keep the Bubby brand in the Netherlands alive, and decided to have our old entities go bankrupt, which was a very sad thing. Like everything we built in the Netherlands was gone overnight.
Right.
And for me, it was the perfect time to then jump, after some consideration, to InPost.
Mm-hmm. So did they sort of come knocking, knowing what you were doing in the Netherlands? Were you on their radar, or did you approach them?
They approached me for quite a while, and I was actually quite how those things go, right? We still felt like we were owning our baby in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So I wasn't interested, to be honest, to join InPost. But what's really funny, we had not so funny actually. We had my girlfriend and I both worked at my old company.
Okay.
And she and I very tragically lost her mother in the same week that we had saw those entities go bankrupt.
Wow.
So we had quite a knock on the back of the heads, and had to re-examine what we wanted. And I had a couple of options where to go. I had my own business on the side where I raised funds for businesses, so I had a few options.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Canopy was on during that time already going at full force.
I bet that actually became a bit of a turning point for you then, didn't it?
It did, yeah, and it was a really difficult time. We were her only family, so it was really difficult. It was quite a heavy period, and what was really special, and I mean, InPost was the only channel I had discussions with for the future that said, take your time, go travel, we'll be waiting. So they allowed me to get lost for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Thailand just to reconsider everything.
Yeah, and process, that's a lot.
And I was surprised to see how many other people I was in contact with for a job or for a new adventure were quite pushy and saying, just
make
start.
A decision.
Make
You've got till Friday.
Yeah. And InPost and was really relaxed and said, this is too big of a moment, so take your time. Mm-hmm. It's really human.
And that was clearly a very strategic hire for them though as well. So they wanted to make sure you were in the right headspace, I would have thought, to take something on like that. What exactly was that role focusing on?
Basically, there are all sorts of barriers that you can think of when you want to quickly scale out of home in markets that are not adapting to it quickly enough.
Right. Okay.
So you obviously have your financial barrier in the shape of millions and millions and millions of capex that you have to invest into the sheer sheet metal. That sheet metal has to be installed into so many different types of landlords, their real estate. Mm-hmm. you have to obviously have a really dense network, and it's almost like a pipeline with numbers game to just get your rate of installment up.
Yeah.
But also, and this is where I'm mostly focused on, was just the digital barrier almost.
Yes, okay.
So which legacy systems are active in the market with a strong position that currently block making it easy for consumers to click on out of home.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, funny enough, I think, especially in a market like the UK, where I think when I started working for InPost, I believe one of the more optimistic out-of-home rates were still like 5 or 6%. In a market at this size, that's obviously that's really low.
Yes, yeah.
So it was quite clear with some of those marketplaces being super successful with out-of-home, like Vinted, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It was clear that consumers wanted it.
Yes.
All this time. I've never for one moment doubted whether consumers were very keen.
Yes, yeah.
But something was blocking it for a long time.
Mm.
People that look at it for the first time will probably say it's density. If the density is not great, then you will probably struggle to grow. But that, to an extent, is also not really true, because it's all about that individual consumer. Where are they on the map, and how close are they to their locker?
Yeah.
And if that's close enough, then that's a good client for you too,
Yes,
or
yeah.
good customer.
Do you think there was maybe a lack of education around it then initially
Yes.
when you joined?
Yes,
Yeah,
but especially, so lots of my role sat into trying to help educate merchants on how to change their behavior.
Yes.
But potentially a bigger part of my role was to look at that very vast ecosystem that we call e-commerce logistics
Mm-hmm.
in a market like UK or elsewhere in Europe, and to understand how can we help them become way more successful than
Mm-hmm.
they currently are, but also who is willing to make this change and almost over-invest into those,
Yes.
and who is actively blocking our growth, because there were actually quite a few that were actively blocking our
Mm-hmm.
growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because they felt it was going to hinder them from a home delivery perspective then, and they were going to lose significant money from that? Is that why they were fearful to maybe step into lockers and out of home?
Well, yeah, I think so. So if you look just at the enabling partnerships or enabling ecosystem, like for example, labeling or TMS systems
Mm-hmm.
that just make sure that in the fulfillment centers a label pops up at the right time. That's obviously something that logic or those business rules or that edge with AI scaling fast
Yeah.
is going to be a pretty useless layer
Mm-hmm.
very soon. So asking that environment to make huge investments into changing towards out of home is obviously something they potentially struggle doing.
Yes.
So it differs a lot per. You've got so many different types of software solutions out there. So everybody had its own reason to jump on this train or try to slow it down.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And my role basically was trying to find those that want to help speed up that train,
Yeah.
and find a way how I can ignore the ones that try to slow it down.
Yeah. So was that covering retailers and other logistics businesses that wanted to partner? Were you covering sort of the full end-to-end supply chain with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
also partners like Google and Apple. There are amazing things you can do in the Google and Apple environment, in wallets, in speedy checkouts.
Yeah.
You can literally make it so dangerously easy for consumers to make them click on out of home and
Yeah.
purchase.
And do you think that post-purchase piece, actually giving them an option to do the out-of-home, was that a bit more of a game changer when that started happening? Because I noticed that firstly with Vinted actually, because it was always a home delivery. And then I started seeing, the locker option. So going back sort of, I don't know, maybe 18 months, 2 years, something like that. And I thought, I can't be bothered to go and get that from the locker. But then when I saw the price was like coming down and down and down, I thought, take some steps, Nicky. Get up, go to that locker and pick up that parcel. Yeah. And it was super quick. You know, I thought it would be a slower process with lockers. But literally within 24 hours, 48 hours sometimes, my parcel was in that locker.
Which is it's only logical, really. To an extent. It's apart from all the other barriers, which we quickly touch upon, but operationally, it's a nicer process, and that's one of my main considerations to use it. If I'm presented with the options when I purchase for myself in the Netherlands online, is I'm just sure that the hit rate is higher, and the Netherlands overall has a pretty high performance on to door, but nevertheless they always seem to find a way to not deliver my parcel. Yeah. So I'm very happy to a couple of times a week rock up at a locker and just collect my. I don't order a couple of times a week, by the way. I live with someone that more,
I bet, twice a day. So just talking about that then, so what, obviously in your experience from being at InPost, what would you say, which country's got the largest PUDO network, in your opinion?
So in my opinion, which is a single source, like there's so many sources that say so many different things, but it must be France. Yeah. So that's PUDO.
Yes, yeah.
So if you combine it with locker, then in I think in count it's actually Poland, but in density it's Czech, according to the latest out of home report that appeared I think 2 weeks ago. Okay. But from a PUDO perspective, it must be France, which is very interesting. Like for example, for me when I joined InPost, the first thing we focused on a lot was trying to make France as much as we can a locker market.
Right. Okay.
And just swap out every PUDO we could, if we could, and if it was the right timing, of course, because you're obviously working with those PUDO partners, so you have to be careful. But we would just install a locker to see what happens. And in France, that market is so attached to PUDOs and the human interaction, and it's where it all started, PUDOs, really.
Well, that's why I thought I'd ask, because different countries have different ideas of out of home and last mile, don't they? Yeah. So I thought, is it difficult to get a country like that with the largest network to start diversifying?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly. So a good example is an InPost these days has really advanced models to understand where to put it in a locker into the ground. But I remember you could sometimes put in a locker and it was overutilized from day one. Right. Or you put a locker in another area in France and it was reclaimed by nature within 2 months and completely unused. Right. So it differs a lot, and I think for more than for any other actor in the market, for a market disruptor, which I strongly believe InPost is, it's even more vital to understand each different market context and adapt your investment strategy to that. Because from afar, it sometimes looks like you just flood a market with capex and install so many lockers, it doesn't really matter. But
it's different habits of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work. So how many lockers would you say InPost have globally then?
That's I'm probably definitely check the annual report, but I believe it's 65,000. I would guess now.
Wow.
Just locker. Yes.
Well, I think was the UK sort of 40,000 when I last looked, something like that, or was that slightly?
I believe UK is now at 15, 16.
Oh, were they looking to maybe get to 40,000?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's it. That's it. We I
did think that was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. But in reality, and this is like, this is super vital to understand what does perfect look like in a market.
Yeah.
So if you take a market of the size of the UK with billions of transactions every year online, you could actually install, and just the vastness of the country geographically, you could put in 40,000 lockers.
Yeah.
And it will be literally everywhere.
But it's where do you put them? You know, do you then start looking at supermarkets or, you know, grocery stores, like one of my previous guests has said, like privately owned, or there's only so much land. It's going to be a land grab for people now, isn't it? To, you know, InPost have had a head start, but with others coming into this space now, how are they going to start to get a bit more market share?
Yeah, like logistics is famous for, it will probably be a matter of buying market share and over-investing into locations and paying double or triple the amount of rent for a location. Like it will be, you see bonkers things already in the market happening every single day.
Which kind of defeats the object, 'cause it's meant to be a more sort of profitable part of logistics, isn't it, lockers?
Well, yeah, I personally think the one who cracks that code, and I think InPost has really good cards in hand to do that, but this should actually be a value channel. So I like to make the example. So when I used to live in my apartment in the Netherlands, I was quite embarrassed to rock up at my elderly neighbor's door 3 times a week, asking if she had again received my parcel. And the poor lady would always do that with kindness. But I personally think the out-of-home flow matches much better my lifestyle, my schedule, being out of literally away from home loads of time.
And you're travelling extensively as well, aren't you? So you can. Did you pick which location you wanted, or did you just
exactly? Yeah,
right.
I
Okay.
would pick, and I would actually pick premium locations, as in the I don't know the premium supermarket you like to do your shopping.
Yes.
If you're already there with your car, you know you'll be there. You can just pick up your parcel so easily at the parking lot.
Well, it makes it easy. We can get those jobs done in one go, can't we?
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. And
So
I
it's
think
ease really for the customer.
it only works if it embeds into your life. If you have to go there for as an individual movement, it becomes an annoyance.
Yes.
And that's why also it's a funny correlation. So the user satisfaction expressed into NPS, it's sort of pretty low for lockers when the density is low in the market.
Yes.
Because it's a hassle. You have to travel quite far. You're annoyed. You could have had it from the status quo carriers much quicker and easier. But then when your density sort of flips, and it flips at different moments in different markets at different levels. But when it flips, your NPS rises through the roof, and outperforms to-door without a blink of an eye. And that's such a powerful tool for merchants to use. We talk about payments a lot in the world of out of home, or at least I did. Because think about back in the day where you had one payment method in the web shop. If you would probably be killed by your marketing team if you think you can go back into one payment method.
Yeah.
And the same, in my opinion, same goes for delivery methods. Consumers, you've got different clients, different consumers shopping.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well, they want choice, don't they? Because no 2 days are the same for any of us, are they?
Exactly.
So one day it might be more convenient to go and pick it up. Another, you might actually want it to come to home. You know, it's whatever works for the customer, really. But people very much focus on the customer when we're talking about sort of last mile and delivery and sort of the best solution. But I'm quite interested to understand what retailers were wanting from you when you were at InPost. So was it like the educational piece around it? Was it focusing very much on the price? What was it really that they wanted from you?
Yeah, so I think it differs a little bit per segment, but I was mostly focused on the top 200 of the world. And I think the thing we eventually always were able to bring to the table, which is sometimes one of the hardest things to do with hyper successful, fast growing merchants. You can name them like the big fitness clothing merchants, and they are super successful. And then some brat shows up and says, "You're not doing it well."
Yes.
And when they sort of survive the first shock of someone saying you're not doing it well after they've grown another 40% last year.
They've got to evolve, haven't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you want to keep growing at the same pace, you have to. If you did what you did, you get what you get. Gotten, right? So, they basically want you basically want to educate them on that there is this undiscovered growth channel still waiting for you. And it requires relatively low investment because there's this play in the market that can fully de-risk you in that investment and that new strategy. So you have to really unpick it, I think, for some of those merchants. And the biggest merchants obviously already understood the game potentially earlier or at the same time that InPost really started to ramp up, like Amazon.
Yes, yeah.
And they are therefore a really good example to hold against some of the others in the market. Like they understand the game of extremely focusing only on user experience.
Yes.
Offering every choice, putting as much power into the hands of your consumers, and really over-investing into that and creating long-lasting relationships. Because what is the most difficult thing to do, I think, for a retailer, and I've worked closely with so many retailers over the last 10 years, but I don't really envy their current position.
No.
Because it's a difficult market. And the trend for consumers becoming more disloyal in the last couple of years and shopping around more, having less filtered, a couple of, like, we used to all have a couple of merchants that we shopped with.
Yes.
And we would stay there. And now we are basically chasing whatever discount code or whatever promotion.
Brand loyalty has shifted, hasn't it?
Exactly.
Definitely.
So that means customer lifetime value collapses. That means
they've got to work so hard to keep
exactly.
a customer now, haven't they? Like you say, compared to 18, 24, maybe 36 months ago.
And you don't have that lifetime span of 3 years anymore as a guarantee. Your cost per acquisition, so attracting someone that comes to someone you draw in to come visit your website, those costs rise because there are many actors in the market that can still invest loads. So overall, the business model is deteriorating ever so slightly, making, in my opinion, out of home a relatively low investment option to still try to diversify.
Yeah. Why do you think InPost and FedEx have looked to merge? What do you think, in your opinion, was the sort of thought process behind that?
I think I knew you wanted to ask me this. Well, so generally, I'm really excited for both companies.
Definitely.
I think they are very complementary to each other to build an even bigger, more powerful machine with even more reach and more resources, and I think that's what you honestly need. I've always been very impressed with how InPost has found a way to invest hundreds of millions in CapEx into those markets, and not expecting to see returns for many years, which is such a difficult thing to do. You can almost don't really do it as an investor-backed company because it's you're almost asking for deep tech ROI timelines in a very asset-heavy, historically low margin industry. So it's really impressive that they pulled it off. But I think if you want to reach the greatness that they are, or the size or scale that they're trying to aim for, you have to find bigger friends.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see that they found that in
I
FedEx.
think so. I know it's not sort of officially fully over the line, but I think that's woken the rest of the industry up now.
Yeah.
They're saying, hang on, this started as a bit of a trend. This is serious business now. This is actually something we should be sitting up and taking note of. And I've noticed since that sort of announcement came out, there are other companies now, pretty sizable businesses, that are now merging, aren't they, and announcing partnerships, specifically from that sort of last mile and out of home perspective.
Yeah, and let's not forget how long the period of extremely low interest rates was. It was almost 12 to 14 years, I believe, where you can raise, like you've seen all those, and some people will say that our little business in the Netherlands was also COVID.
What's a little business? You had 2,000 staff.
No, they had
My
2,000
little business.
staff. So they had 2,000 staff, but they we loved it, every second of it. But some would say it's easy to raise funds when interest rates are so low.
Yes.
COVID really helped that industry. The multiples went up, and but now that it's a more difficult time, you can really see which delivery solutions are surviving.
Yes. And who's
the
stepping
COVID
up,
crash.
really? Yeah.
Yeah, who's stepping up, and you can see a wave of consolidation happening in the market. And I personally think it's nowhere near to its end.
No.
Like you say, it's boiling everywhere, which is super exciting. From that perspective, it was one of the worst moments to leave the industry, I think.
Just going to say. And then you jump ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Just at the pivotal point, all that hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's made you, obviously you're super passionate about InPost, I can tell, even just from talking to you. So I'm not going to ask you any questions that you're going to be like, Nicky, don't put me in a situation, because, it wasn't an easy decision. You loved that business. You were very excited about what they were doing. You were part of a really great team that were innovating and doing some really special things, like we've just mentioned with making new friends in the industry. What was it that made you think Canopy was the next step for you as a startup business?
That's a really good question. So it wasn't an easy decision. So for the last 6.5, 7 years, I've had my own little consultancy business where I helped businesses sharpen up their financial strategy or their investment strategy and help them raise funds. And that's how I got to know the Canopy team. Right. It was called differently, and it was a different, almost a different team. But the founder was still the same person, and he's the one I eventually made my new bet into. Yeah. He's a really smart, really interesting person, and we've had discussions before to jump, and I guess I personally wasn't ready. I wasn't done with logistics. No. I'm still not done with logistics, as you can clearly tell. But we basically joked. So basically, I will really briefly introduce Canopy, what they do. So basically. There are many really big, important summits hosted around the world every single year, like the G7, the UN, NATO, Munich Security Conference. And it's basically getting the world's most important heads of state and all their staff and all the suppliers that are involved in such summits into one room, safely and securely. Right, so it's the security behind it then? It's the security around who is invited, who isn't. The ones that are invited can easily register, but we have to know a ton of things about someone that comes over. And then all the intelligence agencies can easily vet the right people and accreditate them. And then our system provides some hardware together with our software solution to make sure that the people that actually rock up at the event are the right people. Yes. And you can basically not get into the venue for our system if you're not supposed to be
Right,
there.
okay.
And that means several layers of complex security to harden that hardware to make sure that nobody can get in, nobody can spy on you. It's a really a really tested model. Basically, our Canopy hosted the system was used by NATO in 2025 when NATO came to the Netherlands for the summit in The Hague during summer, and throughout those years when I was going back and forth with the founder on how we could build that and what he needed from me, basically, we were almost joking, if you start to work with some of those big names, then I must jump.
Yes.
And recently we signed a multi-year deal with NATO.
Wow.
To host to help them organize all of their events with our solution. So that's super exciting.
Very much so, yeah. So have you invested in this business, or yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I think that's also really important. If you make a jump like that, you have to do it wholeheartedly.
Got to be all in. Yeah.
And it's really so on a personal level, I'm quite interested in geopolitical landscape these days, and it's very fluid and becomes quite critical these days. I think that the most important conversations that are held securely and safely. So that's a personal belief or passion that I've found over the last year or so that I think is more important than ever.
But I think you have to have that interest. You've got to
Yeah.
feel a certain way about something for it to work, haven't you? You've got to have a passion or an interest or a curiosity.
Yeah, I think so, very much. I'm not. I didn't break up with logistics in that sense. I still love logistics.
I think you might come back. I can see it in your eyes. I'm like, you're not going to be gone for too long.
No, I'm not. I certainly don't hope so for now. I'm really happy, and it's like learning how to walk again.
Yeah.
Also to move from, well, semi-corporate. I think InPost is very fast moving, but they've become really large now. So it's become more of a corporate environment, and then going back into full startup, just those two hands that are available to help you out.
Exactly.
So it's learning how to walk, and I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah.
So I'm certainly not interested to help a bunch of corporates anytime soon.
No, and I can sense that. And what did you find the hardest with the transition? Were there some synergies from what you've done previously? Because obviously you've started businesses yourself prior. You've got the businesses that you do sort of as consultancy, really. Was there anything that helped you with the sort of 10 years experience in industry going into that sort of an environment? Or is it just completely unaligned?
No, definitely. There are tons of things that you can that I've learned over the years that I'm extremely grateful for. That help me now every single day to make this new venture work. So I think the most important thing is, and one of the things I really work quite hard on at the beginning, is just the financial scalability of the model. I personally think if you can make logistics become scalable, which way faster people than I actually showed me how to do.
Yes.
It's actually quite easy in a software company. But still, we are not investor backed. We do it ourselves with our own funds. So it becomes more critical to make the right decisions early on. So it hopefully compounds into growth over time.
There's no plan B there, is there?
There's no real plan B. No. It's this needs to work well, and we have several paths on how we can make it work. But the most fun one is obviously to see this. It's really tempting sometimes to this business first started out as a consultancy business as well, for the government mostly.
Right.
And it's really tempting to think that's a safe path. You can always go back to consulting for the government, and I'm not saying there's no honor or pride in that. It's important that the government makes IT-wise, really sound decisions in the Netherlands or anywhere. But it's I personally get way more excited from the idea of building a product again that will live its own life and become a thing that people recognize and like.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
I can see it's like actually that when I said about the synergies, you can see that there's a lot you've probably learnt along the way, even in this global partnership role, because it's relationships, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Exactly.
And it's creating solutions and finding the best way to do things.
Yeah. And we've literally, this just started. So we've done this now. Canopy exists for 5 years, but in a different shape.
Yes.
So it really only launched almost, I would say, a year ago.
Right.
So we barely scratched the surface on how many partnerships you can start and launch to make this work. But the most important thing is we're almost doing it. We're developing down market, if that makes sense. I don't want to lay out gibberish here, but we've started with the most complex, most secure organizations in the world.
Yes.
And then we will probably be able to slightly develop us downwards and move slightly out of this niche.
Yeah.
But the niche is so important because that's the niche, like literally with the G7 and all the most important conversations to be held. So it's a real honor and really, really exciting to do.
And are you travelling a lot? Because you're used to travelling quite a bit, aren't you?
Yes. So I was actually hoping to get. I was actually hoping to travel a bit less.
Yeah, I was thinking you probably were going to be back in the Netherlands a bit more often than not.
Yeah, well, and I actually have this. So this is, I think, every Dutch person's dream setup. So I can actually cycle to my office.
You can.
Yeah, so that's a big upgrade from obviously having my office here in London.
Yes.
But we like NATO pulls us into many different countries.
Yes.
So we just had a ministerial event in Helsingborg in Sweden, which was super impressive, and our solution worked really well, and it was a great first go together with the new NATO partnership. And in 1 week from now, I have to be in Spain, and then the week after in Ankara for the big summit for NATO. And that's the big event of the year. So that we've been working to that for many, many months.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Would you be open to investment, or are you happy to do it with your business partners at the moment? If there's anybody listening that's quite interested in sort of security and technology and software, is it something you'd be open to a discussion about?
Yeah, we are. I would maybe that's a commercial person within me, but I'm always interested.
Yes.
I'm very thankful and a bit proud even, as you can clearly tell, I think, that we are managing without.
Yeah.
Because obviously...
the dynamics change when someone gets involved and they've got a personal investment, or it's a company or private equity business. It's not really your business then, is it? Decisions are made differently. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And
I understand that.
Fundraising is all about timing. And I've had that timing wrong many times in the past. So I'm a bit more careful now, and I just want to make sure it's the right moment. But I'm especially interested to getting in contact with people that think this is important as well.
Yes.
And have a real, almost on a human level, a click onto why this is worth investing into.
Yes.
So those conversations I'm looking very much forward
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll definitely pop your email address on the bottom of the podcast.
Thank you.
And then anybody that wants to reach out. So how long have you been doing this for then? Because time flies. I know we have conversations, but when did you officially join Canopy?
A month ago, slightly more than a month ago.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's very, well, obviously
time is just an illusion at the moment.
It is, and I obviously I've been watching them from the sideline for 6 years, so I've been more close than to them than.
And I think because you have a genuine interest in what they are doing, you've probably been inquisitive to see how it evolves and who gets on board and what sort of partners are starting to adopt the tech. Yeah.
and it's a real software company. So it's a bunch of extremely intelligent people.
Yeah.
That except perhaps for the founder, but they are not coming from major business backgrounds.
Right.
So they know extremely well how to build this.
Right.
And
so this is more a team of developers.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and cyber security experts
Yeah.
and people that build really strong architecture that can't be penetrated. So it's a really clever team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm basically just the dumb fellow that helps them, which makes it so complimentary and so fun as well.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And you clearly have a good sort of vibe with them. That's important, especially when you're clearly all on the same page. You've all got a vested interest. Does it cause friction or conflict internally if you don't really know what they're developing? Can you have an input or?
Well, they are very scarce.
They talk in layman's
They're very
terms.
scarce in letting me in on that. No, they have the decency to nod.
Right,
Say, that's a good idea,
mm-hmm.
Rein.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
they
that's
walk off
good.
and don't do it. but it's great to. It's honestly great to the fact that they've let me in because obviously that's and it actually deserves major credits to the original founder because he's opening up his company for me to walk in and invest and.
That's a big, huge compliment, actually.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Well, yeah, and like my huge compliments to him for being such a good sportsman whilst he did this because I think he clearly sees the potential where this company can head.
Yes.
And you can't do that on your own.
No.
So together we will together, and also we have the original product father, so to speak, in the company as well with skin in the game and stake.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the sort of the mini leadership team, because it's a small company,
Yes.
but the small leadership team is really set up for the long run.
Definitely.
And that's also what we promised each other, a long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's interesting. So I'm quite interested going from a company like InPost and the size of it to this business. If somebody shadowed you for a day, what would surprise them the most in this new role?
I think they would say I'm ill.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I think they would probably get me locked up somewhere. But it's so different. But it's I think a sort of one-dimensional way of trying to explain what the difference is that I think my InPost to-do list was like 10, 20 things that are really important and take a longer time to get done. Mm-hmm. But you have to work on them every single day to make that strategy eventually come true.
You've got to be focused. It's that momentum with it, isn't it?
Exactly, but all the things are so big in a company the size of InPost. And then here, I think my to-do list is honestly like 80 to 100 things, some of which are at the size of doing the dishes, up to potentially getting investments or changing the strategy. So it's way more layered in so many different things. Small team, so you have to do a lot yourself.
Yeah.
And I've always really enjoyed that. And I was kind of missing that during my InPost time.
Yeah.
But now that I'm doing it again, it also costs some of the time to adapt. So I'm, I can see sometimes why people that have been working for a decade in the leadership of a company really struggle to start a company again because it's so different.
It is, definitely.
And I feel I was just in time
just to make that move.
Yeah.
Well, we are coming to the end of our podcast, Rein. Do you think, obviously we could talk for hours about, businesses that you've built and what you've done at InPost and partnerships and people that you know and collaborations that you've been a part of. Do you think there's anything else you want to get across to the audience before we wrap this up? Is there anything around industry or anything around Canopy that you want to share?
Coming from someone that just left the industry, this makes very little sense. But I think more people should for 10 years, I've told friends, family, other business relationships outside of my logistics that I'm in the parcel industry or parcel business, and you get really mixed reactions, and people think really lightly about it, which is completely understandable if you don't know how layered or interesting that market is. But I think this is still building up to have or be that wave that I've been trying to work for 10 years straight.
Yes.
So,
but it's never going to leave you, is it?
Well, I'm honestly not sure. I think so. So payments, for example, I personally think payments have become a bit boring. They've had their wave. It was really exciting. I've sat there looking enviously towards them and my partners there, because I was like, oh, that's really cool. Obviously, many jumped over to logistics now. But long story short, I think the most exciting time is still to come. I think there's also a turbulent time coming up with lots of consolidations, and it'll be super interesting. So I hope, and you're doing an amazing job here. I think your podcast is exposing how interesting and exciting this market can be, or this industry can be.
It's a little bit more of a behind the scenes, isn't it, for people, that if they're in industry but they don't know specific areas because they're not in that sort of discipline, or if it's people, the next generation of talent. There's a lot of older people in logistics now who are lifers. They're due to retire. We've got to retain that knowledge for the next generation of talent coming in, because we're going to be losing a lot over the next sort of 2 to 3 years, I think, across all areas, whether it's freight, warehousing and distribution, parcels. There's a lot of people at an age where they will be exiting and retiring, and their work here is done.
Well, yeah, but seriously, what you're building here, you're doing more for the brand, e-commerce logistics, and any of your guests combined. So that's great. It's really great to see.
That's good to know. Yeah, we've had some really positive feedback, actually. I was a bit like, will anyone want to come on? Are we going to be okay? Is it going to be embarrassing? We've got no guests. But we've been super blessed, actually. And people travelling like yourself, coming all the way over from the Netherlands to our little show. I feel very humbled, very humbled. Actually, we forgot something. My quick fire round. So before I let you, with the audience love it, we have to do it. Can I just reel them off and you just run with it?
Let's do it.
We freestyle.
Scared to death.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
That was an easy one. Most used emoji.
I think it's so cliche, but I think the one with the arm,
Oh, the strong one.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on. Okay. One food you could literally eat every day.
Yeah, I would say sushi.
Sushi.
Think,
and that can be quite varied, actually, can't it? So that's a bit of a cheat.
And I've done so, as you can clearly see.
Favourite holiday destination?
Sailing,
yeah.
Oh, sailing or skiing. I saw you discussing it with Chris, but it's very close.
Oh, yeah, Chris Barron. He couldn't decide which one to go with.
But I'll go sailing.
You go sailing. Dogs or cats?
I have a lovely cat, I must say, but I'm a dogs person. Poor cats.
Poor cat. Well, I suppose with your job, though, they're a little bit more self-sufficient cats, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, my cat can slam a box and food comes out. It's really nice.
Not needing walking and too much attention. What makes you smile?
Curiosity, I think.
Yeah.
In what people do.
I think life in general for you as well. You are a very glass half full sort of person, aren't you? Very positive.
Yeah, a little bit, I think. But I'm not always.
No. Well,
but I really try to be, and I think the best things are built when enough of positive people come together and make something work.
I think so, definitely. Would you say you're happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's important, isn't it? Because
Um,
that's a big transition, really, what you've done.
Yeah, and very scary from time to time. But I honestly think I'm very happy to be scared again.
Yeah.
And
Get the
be
fire in your
uncomfortable. And I'm sometimes a complete idiot with the things I ask to my team, and like they like I feel like a
But
like
you're
an
learning.
intern
You
again.
need to know.
Yeah, but it's great. It's honestly great, and I have this really deep desire for some pathetic reason to sort of show others that I can also do it in an industry I don't know.
Yeah. But that will
be
be
seen.
a driving force as well. Yeah, to be
Yeah.
seen, to come out of nowhere and create this fabulous business.
Yeah. So we'll see in 2 years. I'm either back into parcels.
I'll get you back on the show.
Please. I'll be begging.
Did you have a mentor or take any inspiration from anyone whilst making this decision?
Yeah. Well, I think many mentors, but definitely many mentors. Actually, two really short examples. But my father has had an amazing career. I feel personally, both as an entrepreneur and as a advisor to businesses. And he almost to a pathetic level helps me every step along the way. And he's my best mate, and I really enjoy.
But that's great. You can bounce things off him as well, and he's
very
probably your
honest
conscience as well.
He's very honest, and I must say one other example is someone I truly admire. Is the one that actually started Retje Pakketje, the first business, and he's gone off together with other of my friends, starting a new business that's again hyper successful called Eddie Grid.
Right.
And he's been a mentor through those years. Other people as well in the business has really helped me out to learn so much. But one of the things he did to me personally is that he said to me that I would never really be an entrepreneur.
Really?
For example,
well, that's red rag to a bull to
yeah,
you,
he said
isn't
it many years ago. But he and I don't feel I am one actually, but I sure as hell would like to prove that I can be.
Yeah.
So let's see.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, you are on the right track, definitely. What advice would you give your younger self?
I think don't be such a nerd, to be honest.
I didn't know what you were going to come out with then.
I'm quite a big nerd, and honestly, and I've worked from quite a young age, quite hard. Also with like from 14, having a really small DJ company with friends, and became quite a serious thing over the years. Or I think we were 12, and we therefore skipped a lot of the things that I think normal people do when they were young.
Okay.
And looking at some of those people, some of my friends that didn't do that are still going off like crazy in their career. So I think I would just have said, relax a bit more, or take your time.
Fun.
Yeah,
take your time.
Have a bit more fun.
We always say we want to grow up so quick, don't we?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
And the thing.
And I've always thought that the view was really nice, but it's not that nice.
There was never an easier time than when we were at school. When I look back now, no bills, no worries. We finish work at 3:30.
And I hated it at the time. It took me so much effort to actually finish school and finish my study. And now I'm like, oh, you should have taken all the time in the world.
Well, that's it. We're just not educated to think in the moment at that age.
No.
When you look back, time is the only thing we don't get back.
Yeah.
Every day we've got to be embracing and finding something good in each day, I think, because otherwise it's gone. I mean, my son's 19 next month.
That's crazy how quickly that goes.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. So I just look at him. He's 6'5".
You had him when you were 16.
Yeah, favourite client ever. But sometimes I'm running at 100 mile an hour and I think, gosh, he was at school, he was 4. And now sometimes when he says, Mum, I need you to help me with this, I'm like, nearly bloody 19. Do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, I think no, because for him to actually come to me at that age and want my help, I need to give him that time. Yeah, definitely. A guilty pleasure you are willing to admit on air?
Nothing. I'm completely normal through and through. A guilty pleasure. Well, it's not as bad as Chris's.
Go
Those
on.
Grease, right? But I do very much like Adele.
She's amazing.
But like I think guilty pleasure with me is mostly music. So I listen to anything and anything.
What, are you like vinyls, are you talking, or just normal?
No, like normal music. I listen to
music.
anything from classical to the most shaming.
Depends what mood you're in with music, doesn't it?
Yeah. But
I love music.
I wish I had something beefier than this. But I don't. Again, I'm a nerd. I guess that's my problem.
Is there a film, book, or a podcast that's really inspired you?
Yes, I've been listening quite religiously to this. Again, nerd alert through and through. But I've been listening quite religiously to this daily podcast in the Netherlands that zooms into geopolitical landscape.
Right.
And I've listened, pathetic as it is, for I believe over 1,200 days to it, because it started when the war in the Ukraine started.
Wow. Okay.
And the podcast is called Boek zijn in de wijk, and that's a very Dutch couple of names, but they are really into those higher spheres that speak about what's going to happen in the world, and it inspired me in a way that also brought some fear. I think that we are living in very drastically changing times.
Definitely.
And it woke me up a little bit in the sense that I think it's really important that we are more thankful for what we all have built and what we have, and that it's not a given. No. And that I if I can play a micro role into helping things stay the way they are, then that's would be a big drive for me to do.
Yeah, no, I like that.
But it's depressing to listen, to be honest.
Oh, really?
This is not a recommendation because the world's a bit on fire.
But that will obviously resonate a little bit with what you're doing.
Yeah,
with,
it does.
Canopy.
It does. I've been actively think. So this is not like I already knew Canopy, so it's not that I got to Canopy because of this. But I've been trying to think what my role could be, even in like just signing up for the military and making sure that they can call you if they have to.
Yes.
Which I think is a really big step and it requires lots of consideration before you do such things.
Did you consult your father about this?
Oh, of course I have, many times, until his ears bleed. But I think everybody, if you have a little bit of bandwidth left, you could think about what you could do to make your country or your city or more resilient to threats from outside, basically.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm not a prepper.
Yeah, but
Don't get me into that box. I sound like a prepper. Terrible things are going to happen.
Stop. This is a positive, uplifting podcast, but it is called Let's Be Honest.
Well, I've been.
You've been very honest. Is there a question you wished people would ask you more often?
No, I don't know. I'm
You're
thinking.
probably the one asking the questions, aren't you?
Well, yeah, and I love that position, to be honest. So I genuinely think today at his highest peak, but I'm genuinely getting enough attention in my life, and I'm more comfortable in the position to ask questions.
Yes.
And that's a never-ending thing for me. I'm truly always everybody has have such interesting stories to tell. So I'm excited to continue to ask questions to others.
Exactly. Well, that's it. You never know.
If you ever want to switch seats,
just
call me.
Did you want to interview me?
Yes.
I'd be up for that.
Oh, let's do it. There's a special coming up.
There we go, a special edition. Oh, well, I think, Rein, you've got away quite lightly there. You done?
Thank you so much, Nicky.
Yeah. Is there anything, I'm conscious we've been talking for a while, and you're going to need to go and get your plane, but is there anything else you would like to address before we wrap it up?
One thing, which I think can be really exciting in podcast as a format, is that I ask someone something to the next person.
Oh, yes. Interesting.
So my question would be, how would you describe the next 5 years in parcel logistics?
Oh, so I pass that on as a question to my next guest, and then that guest passes it on to the next guest. We could start a chain and a trend.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to watch that back because I forgot the question. But I love the concept of that.
Yeah.
So we can start a bit more of a sort of collaboration, really.
Exactly. And it's important to know, I don't know who it will be.
You don't know who my next guest is.
If I know who it will be, I would come up with a spicier question. But I just don't know who it is.
Well, I'm not telling you either.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking who it is. Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's a good question for this particular guest.
Yeah. So the coming 5 years, what's going to happen in detail, please, good sir or good miss?
Please. Brilliant. I love that.
Thank you, Nicky.
Oh, Rein, it's been such a pleasure having you on. Thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.